Why most people never build an emergency fund even when they can. Have you ever noticed that some people can earn a decent income for years and still feel completely unprepared for a single unexpected expense? It's a strange situation. Many people don't avoid building an emergency fund because they dislike saving. They avoid it because life always seems to offer a more interesting place to put that money. Imagine someone named Sarah. Sarah is 29 years old and works in marketing. She earns around $68,000 a year and lives in a medium-sized city. After taxes and deductions, she brings home roughly $4,400 each month. Her financial life looks fairly normal. Rent, groceries, transportation, insurance, utilities, a few streaming subscriptions, occasional dinners with friends, a weekend trip every few months. Nothing seems excessive. Sarah isn't trying to impress anyone. She's simply enjoying the rewards of working hard. At the beginning of every month, she tells herself the same thing. This month, I'll finally start building my emergency fund. But something always comes first. A birthday gift, replacing worn-out shoes. A concert that everyone wants to attend. A kitchen appliance that would make cooking easier. A home decoration she has wanted for months. Each purchase feels reasonable. None of them seem irresponsible. The emergency fund quietly moves to next month. Then next month becomes next season. Eventually, next season becomes another year. This is where the problem becomes difficult to notice. People often imagine that financial security is created by making one big decision. In reality, it's usually shaped by dozens of very small decisions that don't feel important at the time. Let's look at the numbers. Suppose Sarah manages to save $350 every month. That doesn't sound life-changing. After 1 year, she has around $4,200 set aside. After 2 years, assuming she leaves it untouched, that becomes roughly $8,400. Now, imagine something unexpected happens. Her refrigerator suddenly stops working. The repair isn't possible. Replacing it costs $1,200. Without an emergency fund, that expense immediately competes with next month's rent, groceries, and every other financial responsibility. With an emergency fund, it's still unpleasant, but it doesn't completely disrupt daily life. The interesting part is that the emergency itself isn't what creates stress. The uncertainty does. Our brains dislike uncertainty far more than predictable discomfort. That's one reason emergency funds feel psychologically difficult. You're setting aside money for something you hope never happens. There's no immediate reward, no excitement, no visible improvement in your lifestyle. You don't wake up one morning and admire your emergency fund the way you might enjoy a renovated apartment or a new piece of furniture. It remains invisible. Human psychology naturally favors rewards we can experience today over protection we might need years from now. Behavioral economists sometimes call this present bias. Future security competes against today's satisfaction. Today's satisfaction usually wins. There's another reason emergency funds are often delayed. People assume they'll build one after reaching a certain income, maybe after the next raise, or after moving into a better apartment, or after earning a little more experience at work. The problem is that expenses often grow alongside income. A nicer apartment, more frequent travel, additional subscriptions, higher insurance costs, better quality everyday purchases. Life improves. But the amount available for emergencies barely changes. Waiting for the perfect time often means waiting forever. Financially prepared people usually think differently. They don't see an emergency fund as money that's sitting idle. They see it as buying flexibility. The ability to handle surprises without changing the rest of their financial life. That perspective changes everything. Imagine two co-workers earning nearly the same salary. Both experience an unexpected medical bill. One immediately begins rearranging monthly expenses, delaying other goals, and worrying about the next paycheck. The other pays the bill from an emergency fund and continues life almost exactly as planned. Their incomes were similar. The emergency was similar. The difference was the space they had created before the emergency arrived. Financial resilience rarely feels important on ordinary days. Its value only becomes obvious when life stops following the plan. That's why emergency funds often appear boring right up until the moment they're needed. And by then, it's too late to build one for yesterday's emergency. Building an emergency fund isn't really about predicting the future. It's about accepting that the future will always contain a few surprises. The goal isn't to remove uncertainty. The goal is to make uncertainty less expensive when it arrives. If you found this perspective helpful and enjoy thoughtful conversations about personal finance and long-term wealth building, consider subscribing for more videos like this.